All right, if you're watching this, that means that Georgia running backs coach Dell McGee is leaving Athens to take the head coaching position at Georgia State. This is a massive, massive hire for the Panthers, who get a guy who knows the state of Georgia as well as anyone. This guy is a legend in high school football across the state of Georgia. He was the Carver Columbus head coach in West Georgia from 2005 to 2012. Everyone knows Dell McGee, and it's a big reason why Kirby Smart hired him in 2016 to take on the role as running backs coach. He's been with Georgia for a long time now, basically ever since Kirby Smart has been at Georgia, and he's done an excellent job. There's no way around it. I know a lot of people have kind of hated on Dell McGee, on the recruiting show for what he's been able to do, but I'm going to go over the numbers. I'm going to go over the numbers because he did a very, very good job at Georgia, and he earned this job to become the head coach at Georgia State. He's going to turn that program around. But let's talk about what he did do, because a lot of people, actually too many people, when they think of Dell McGee, they think, oh man, he's really not that great of a recruiter. He missed on Justice Haynes, who went to Alabama. He missed on Trey Sanders years ago. I believe that was the 2019 class. He went to Alabama. Travian Henderson was a 5-star Georgia wanted. He went to Ohio State. Zach Evans, Georgia could have had Zach Evans if they wanted, but there's a lot of people who I don't think realize how good Dell McGee was. He helped land DeAndre Swift in that 2017 class. In the 2018 class, he landed the #1 running back in the country, Zamir White, who was unbelievable in high school. He is as good a running back through the high school ranks as we've seen in some time. He was incredible. Injuries hampered him a little bit, but he turned out to be a very good running back at Georgia, helped him win a national championship. That same year, he also signed James Cook out of South Florida, a versatile back who can catch out of the backfield. He's one of the best running backs in the NFL right now, and a big, big reason why Georgia was able to win that 2021 national championship. So you're talking about DeAndre Swift, Zamir White, James Cook. Kenny McIntosh was like a low to mid 4-star. A lot of people still didn't really know who he was when Georgia signed him because he didn't have 5 stars next to his name. Dell McGee liked him, signed him in the 2019 class, and he went on to do bigger things than I think Georgia fans expected out of him. He was a major reason why Georgia won the 2022 national championship, and he made plays in 21 as well. The next class, 2020, what does he do? He goes out and signs Kendall Milton, one of the best running backs across the country. Went out to California to grab him. And then he went down to South Georgia. You got Daijun Edwards, who was, I think, a high 3-star, low 4-star, depending on what outlet you look at. A guy that Georgia liked the entire time. They got him late, but I'm blanking on the names right now, but there were a lot of guys ranked higher than Daijun Edwards in that 2020 class. I think Travian Henderson was one of the players in that class. Could be wrong. He may have been 21. But the fact remains that Dell McGee knew how good Daijun Edwards was. And a lot of people didn't recruit him. And a lot of Georgia fans are saying, wait, we're gonna take this low to mid 4-star guy? Why aren't we signing 5 stars? Well, as it turns out, Daijun Edwards was really good. And he was better than a lot of Georgia fans thought. But Dell McGee loved him the whole time, signed him out of Colquitt County, and he turned out to have a really good career in Athens. In 2021, it was really the only year Georgia didn't sign an impactful running back. They signed Lavassier Carroll, who ended up transferring after 1 year and turned into a defensive back. I don't know where he is right now, but Georgia gave him a shot. It didn't work, so they basically didn't take a running back in that class. 2022, got a couple bowling balls. Branson Robinson, Andrew Paul. Branson Robinson, we've seen flashes of what he could be. If he has a healthy season in 2024, he could open up a lot of eyes and be an X factor in Georgia's offense. But Andrew Paul is a guy they signed out of Texas late in the process, and of course he got hurt that first year. Hasn't played a ton, but he did, I think, score a couple touchdowns in garbage time last year. But 2 good players. And then last class, he signed 3 running backs. Nate Frazier, one of the best across the country, another kid from California that Dell McGee said, you know what, I can recruit anywhere I want, but the guy I want is out in California, and I'm going to go get him. That's because Dell McGee's really good at his job. The running backs that got to Georgia got better when they got to Georgia. They got better under Dell McGee, every single one of them. Now, injuries, of course, happen. Guys have setbacks, but these backs left Georgia better than when they got there. And that's why Kirby Smart brought in Dell McGee. He is an ace recruiter, no matter what you say. And listen, not every 5-star, A lot of coffee this morning, still waking up, got the burps a little bit. But not every five-star wants to go to Georgia and share the load, right? A lot of guys want to carry the load and put the offense on their back. They want all the carries. They want all the touchdowns. That can't happen at Georgia. If you're coming to Georgia, you're probably coming in with someone else, maybe two other guys, and you're going to compete. You're going to see the field, but you're not going to get all these types of carries. So, even if Georgia misses on a five-star here and there, it's tough to blame Dell McGee every single time. A lot of these guys just either want to leave the state or want to go somewhere they could see the field earlier and get more carries, and that's just not going to happen at Georgia. You're going to share the ball. You're going to share carries, and it's only going to help you out down the road. And the guys that buy into that, they come to Georgia and they succeed. So, this has got to be tough for the three running backs who just signed with Georgia: Nate Frazier, Dwight Phillips, Chauncey Bowens. But they know how this is. And I feel like Dell McGee probably told these guys, hey, my goal is to eventually be a head coach again. No one wants to be Kirby Smart's assistant the whole time. Glenn Schumann is going to leave at some point. Trey Scott is going to leave at some point. I think Todd Hartley might get an OC job, call and play somewhere else. He might leave. So you don't want to be assistant your whole time, especially under Kirby Smart. He pushes his assistant coaches just as hard as he pushes the players. That's just how it is. These coaches are they work hard. They have to. They work long days, long weeks. They get paid for it, but there's definitely some stress in that building with these coaches because of the amount of work and amount of pressure they're under to recruit and develop and win championships. Right? It all trickles down. And so when Dell McGee gets an opportunity to be a head coach of a D1 program like Georgia State that has a lot of potential, a good head coach at Georgia State is going to do big things. This is a massive opportunity for Dell McGee. And again, he earned it because of what he could do on the trail. He knows just about every head coach, not only in Georgia, but probably across the South. Again, the guy's a legend. Everyone knows who Dell McGee is. He's been doing this a long, long time. After his days coaching at high school at Carver, he started getting opportunities at the collegiate level. He was an analyst at Auburn. He was the running backs coach at Georgia Southern, turned assistant head coach at Georgia Southern. He was their interim head coach in 2015 when they won a bowl game. Then he got to Georgia. He's been at Georgia ever since. He's done a great job. But no one's irreplaceable. He's going to go do big things at Georgia State, and Kirby Smart's going to bring in a guy who can recruit. That's what they do. Dell McGee can recruit. And I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of coaches who see this and they say, wow, Georgia's running back coaches available. That spot's open. I want that. Kirby's going to go get the best guy for the job. Whoever's the most qualified, whoever can bring in the most talent and take that talent and turn it into big time, turn that player into a big time college football star wearing red and black. That's what Kirby's going to do. So I don't think there's going to be much of a drop off because at Georgia playing running back, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's like playing quarterback at Southern Cal, shortstop for the Yankees, shooting guard for the Los Angeles Lakers, right? Center fielder for the Atlanta Braves. If you're the running back at Georgia, there's a lot of responsibility. Everyone knows who you are. Everyone knows the running backs at Georgia that came before you, right? I mean, it's name after name after name. Guys who have gone on to do big things, not only at college, but in the NFL too. So if you want to run the ball at Georgia, there's some pressure, and you better be good enough to do it because there's a lot of eyeballs on you. And Dell McGee was able to take these big-time players and turn them into guys. And it's just been guy after guy, one after another after another. DeAndre Swift leaves. That opens up things for James Cook and Zamir White. They leave. Then you got Kenny McIntosh running the show. Kenny McIntosh leaves. It's Kendall Milton and Dejan Edwards show. Year after year after year, you're seeing more guys emerge as big-time running backs because Dell McGee knows what he's looking for on the recruiting show, and he's going to do a great job at Georgia State. But, they might take a step back as far as signing running backs in this 25 class now, just because you got to get a new running back coach in there to build relationships with these guys that Dell McGee already had relationships with. And when these guys know that Georgia just took 3 in the 24 class, it might be a little difficult to go out and get their number 1, number 2 target in the 25 class, but they're going to find a way to do it. We're hopeful to have some names on Dawg Post as far as a running back coaching board, who Kirby's looking at, possible candidates to replace Dell McGee and some other wide receiver coaching options as well. So we're going to have more over on Dawg Post. So if you've been enjoying these videos, we want to see you over on the website. You can sign up to Dawg Post clicking on our free newsletter. That link is right down below. It's free to sign up. It's free to read all these stories on Dawg Post. Really appreciate y'all watching, but we want to see you over on the website. But again, Georgia loses their running back coach Dell McGee to Georgia State. Not the end of the world, but he did a terrific job, and I think Georgia fans should remember that. Okay, thanks for watching this video. Hope to see you on the website.